Hey, welcome back to S&S Grills. I'm Jabin Postal, and today I'm going to show you how to set up the 22-inch Slow N Sear Kettle Grill. As I said, welcome back to S&S Grills. I appreciate you being here. Today, I want to show you how to set up the 22-inch kettle grill to show you how it's done and make the process a little bit simpler for you. So everything that you're going to need is already in the box, from the parts, the user manual, the instructions on how to set it up. So what we're going to do is I'm going to open up the box and pull out some of the parts, and then we'll start building the Slow N Sear Kettle Grill. All right, so I have everything out of the box now, the lid, the bowl, and all the various parts that we need to put together to assemble the kettle grill. And you'll notice that in the instruction manual, it starts top down. We got the lid assembly, followed by the bowl and the leg assembly. I like to start by assembling the lower portion first, because it does act as a little bit of like a third hand when it comes time to putting together the lid. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to do is install the grill handle on the bottom bowl. And you'll notice that there is the probe port, and just to the left of it is a couple holes, and this is where the front handle is gonna sit. And so to install this, I'm gonna take my C-bolt and I'm gonna place that in, as well as my fiber washer. And then I'm gonna place that into the front of the kettle. I'm gonna also take my E-washer and place that into the back side of the kettle, followed by my nut. And I'm gonna get that on just hand tight. And then I'm gonna repeat the process onto the other side. For this one, I am gonna be using a couple tools just to make sure it's on there tight. So now that the handle's on, I'm gonna flip the bowl upside down, and we're gonna install the bottom ash catch. To do this, we want to make sure that the front is facing the handle, and then you'll notice that there's 4 tabs all the way around. These tabs are going to clip into the leg holders, just like so. Now that our ash bucket cover or holder is onto the bottom bowl, we're going to install the legs as well as the bottom grate. And you'll notice a couple stickers that show which leg goes where. And so we're starting with our leg 15R, and we're going to place this into the leg holder. And then I'm going to take my lower grate, I'm going to place this through the leg holes. I'm going to grab one of my pins, place that in, there we go. And then I'm going to grab my leg 15L, place that here, snap it into place. Get this other one through the hole. I'm going to take my pin and get that in there as well. And then I'm going to repeat the process onto the other side. All right, with the legs now on the grill, I'm going to place on my wheels. And to do that, I have my pin and my 18A washer. And this is what's going to attach the wheels to the legs. So let's go ahead and get this on. To do this, I'm going to place the wheel onto that lower grate, followed by my washer, and then my pin. And then last, I'm going to take the wheel cover and place that onto the wheel. There we go. So I'm going to do the same to the back side. There we go. You can see that the legs are on, the wheels are on, and it's looking more like a kettle grill already. So what we're going to do is we're going to get it off the table, and we're going to continue to build the kettle on the ground. All right, so with the bottom bowl now standing, it's time to start to put together some of the pieces that go onto the grill. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start by installing the probe port, and then followed by the smoke hole. To do that, I have my D-bolt. I'm going to take that, and I'm going to place it right into the smoke hole section. I'm also going to grab a spring washer as well as my nut. I'm going to place that on. And then with my tools, I'm going to just snug this up. And then I'm going to do the exact same process to install my smoke hole. To install my 5-vent ash sweep, you're going to need a couple things. You got your ash sweep, we have this tab, and you'll notice that both of them have little arrows on them, and I want the arrows to be facing together. Just slide it in like that, and then I have this little washer, and then my ash sweep lever, and this is what's going to help open and close the ash sweep for air control, as well as to sweep out the ash at the end of the cook. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this into the grill, and I want those arrows to be facing each other, as well as towards the front handle. So I'm going to place that in here. Next, I'm going to take my bottom plate, and this kind of looks a little bit like a washer, but it does have a rectangular shape in it with a notch, and I want to put this underneath the bottom bowl with a notch, again, facing the front handle, and then my ash sweep handle is going to clip onto this, securing everything to the bottom bowl. And then once that's latched in, I'm going to take my last pin and I'm going to feed it through the hole at the end of the ash sweep handle. Next, I'm going to install my lid bail, and so I have my lid bail wire, I've got my supports, my spacers, and then the hardware to attach it all. And I'm going to be attaching this into the holes that are just left of the handle, but first I'm going to grab one of my spacers, I'm going to place that onto here, followed by my E-washer. I'm going to get that through that hole. I'm going to take my second E-washer, and then my spring washer. Lastly, my H-nut. I'm going to hand tighten this. Next, I'm going to take my bail support, and I'm going to feed this onto the lid bail wire. And then I'm going to repeat the process by installing that spacer, followed by my E-washer. I'm going to get that in through that hole. My E-washer again, followed by the spring washer, and then lastly that H-nut. There we go. So I'm going to take my tool and I'm just going to tighten this up. There we go. So I'm going to turn this around so I can show you how to install the back brace. And so I do have this clip here. I'm going to grab my brace, I'm going to put it right into the center, and then take my clip as well as my B-bolt and place that through the holes. I'm going to push it in through the kettle. I'm also going to make sure this one is tightened up with my tool as well. There we go. So I'm going to spin this back around because we're going to install the side shelf. To install the side table, it's actually very simple. We only need our C-bolt as well as a couple E-washers. So I'm going to take my side table and place it up against the bowl, as well as my C-bolt as well as an E-washer. And I'm going to just feed that through the hole of the bowl, through into the threading of the side table. There's one. Grab my next bolt and washer, and feed that through. And then I'm going to take a screwdriver and tighten up these bolts. You can see that the side table easily lifts as well as drops, and this is one of the things I love about this kettle. Next, I'm going to install the handle onto our ash bucket, and this is what's going to sit directly below the bottom bowl, and it's going to catch all of the ash that we sweep out of the kettle grill. I'm going to grab my handle, and you'll notice that there's a short end as well as a long end. The short end is the top, and it's going to go inside the bowl. And I'm going to install this by taking my B-bolt and place that through the hole, and then grab my E-washer, place that on the inside, as well as then my H-bolt. Then we're going to do the same thing to the bottom. And then I'm going to grab my tools. I'm just going to tighten this up. And then I'm going to take my ash bucket and I'm going to install it into the bottom of the kettle. With the ash bucket in place, I'm going to add in my lower charcoal grate, as well as my easy spin grate. There we go. And with that, the bottom of the kettle grill is all put together. So let's go ahead and move on to the lid. Okay, to put the lid together, we're going to be installing the handle, the heat deflector, our thermometer on the front, as well as our top vent. And so I'm going to start by installing our top handle. So it's going to essentially go like this. And so one of the reasons why I started with the bowl is because I can use the lid bail as a third hand. I'm going to place this right in here. And then I'm going to grab my handle and heat deflector plate, as well as all the hardware needed to install the handle onto the lid. And so to do this, I'm going to start by inserting my A bolt, followed by one of my J spacers. And then grab the handle, I'm going to place that through there, and then attach my fiber washer. So I'm going to take all of this and I'm going to place that in through the hole on the kettle grill. And then I'm going to take my E-washer, place that in there, followed by my wing nut. All right, I'm going to repeat this process on the other side. Next, I'm going to install the top vent onto the lid. And you'll see that this is going to sit just like this. And then just like before, I'm going to attach this with the lid open, and I'm going to do that by inserting my D bolt, place that on, and I take my washer, followed by my spring washer, and then lastly, my nut. I'm going to get this tightened up. And then the last thing I'm going to install is my thermometer, and you'll notice that all the hardware is already attached. So I'm just going to spin this last nut off. Then just like before, I'm going to open up this grill lid, and then I'm going to install the thermometer through the front hole. Then thread that nut on. And with the thermometer tightened up, I'm going to close up the lid. And this completes the assembly of the 22-inch Slow N Sear Kettle Grill.